first scenario we're gonna see, and I want to give you guys a idea about how to approach in that situation, is when we are trying to stabilize side control, having some perpendicular angle against the opponent. But most of the times it's hard when we are facing tough people, and you need to walk around a little more and face north-south scenarios. So we have Fernando in supine position, and if you guys get, of course, build angle right away and have access to the center, throwing the splitting knees and elbows, and then stabilize side control, it would be ideal. But good people, they know how to frame, they know how to keep knees and elbow connected, and even if we do an incredible job trying to pin people, a lot of times it's going to be hard. One interesting point about controlling the center when we are looking to stabilize top position, chest to chest, is every time we are beating the leg, if we are facing the hips, it's a good sign, we are already starting to get there. But every time we angle a little more and we are facing the hips above the shoulder lines, we have more pressure and power from that position. Why? Because for Fernando, in this situation, it's pretty hard for him keep his knees on his chest. It's easy for him maintain his frames, his elbows close to his body like this, but it's pretty hard for him maintain his knees in positions. And the more I lean forward, the more pressure I apply, the easier it's gonna be to split his protections, knees and elbows connection. From this angle, for example, it's not wrong, it's actually pretty good, but sometimes it's hard, and that's why we're gonna see more north-south scenario right now. So when we have someone pretty good with frames, if I try from this position split my opponent's knees and elbow connection, it's gonna be pretty hard. So my goal is gonna be start, of course, going side to side, so I can high step, I can just do Toriada passings, so I switch my grips, and then we have the situation where I walk north-south. Once I walk north-south, the key element here again is going to be split knee and elbow. How can I do that? It's pretty simple. I just need to use gravity to apply pressure, and over time I'm going to get to split this connection that Fernando has. So my work is going to be pin the near leg on the mats and split the far leg, the top one that we're going to leave on the far side, split the knee and the elbow. How I do that? I keep my grip, this reverse control that I have on my opponent's shin, and I place my elbow inside my opponent's knee. So once I start leaning and I sprawl away to use gravity on my side, once I start sprawling away like this and leaning forward, it's pretty easy for me to find a scenario where I can drop my knees on the mats, and even if Fernando has frames on my upper body, means nothing, I can always switch my bottom hand to this frame across the hips, and then I can bring my head inside this gap. So when Fernando tries to bring his legs back in place, it's gonna be pretty hard. So how can I increase my power from here? So if I just have this hand, my arm, across my opponent's hips and my head placed on my wrist, it's a very good setup. But to increase more my connection here, I can either use this reverse collar tie, I can either use a shoulder control, or I can either use this post inside my opponent's armpit. It's kind of hooked like here. It's not an underhook, I'm just placing my hand inside. So Fernando has his frame, I just come inside and then I place my hand inside my opponent's lat muscle and armpit. So from here, when I'm hanging on top, I start camping on his hips. When Fernando tries to push me away, it's pretty damn hard for him to disconnect myself from this position, and I'm always gonna find a way to make a transition where I control the inside elbow, I walk a little bit, and I start beating his arm, isolating already my opponent's near arm, and we have here a very solid side control pin where his near arm is isolated, and we can start working to progress from side control. So again, I would love to camp on his hips, I would love to pass the guard in this perpendicular angle, but good people, they have knee and elbow connection so well. Sometimes we are able to beat the knee, but they frame the hip escape, they bring knees back, and we struggle, probably gonna be caught here in the half guard and things like that. And we wanna avoid this solid connection for the opponent. So that's why when we walk north-south, either high step or any other type of loose passing that we are using, once I switch my grip like here, and I build my angle across the shoulder line like here, so I have this diagonal direction facing my opponent's hips, it's not gonna be hard to start generating pressure by sprawling away and then using one side to pin, and that is what I want. I want to pin this near side on the mats, and I want to sprawl and push his top leg away with my elbow. So that is what I'm trying to do. The more I split this position, the easier it's going to be to switch my bottom arm to arm across, and then my head comes right away, and I post on my wrist like this. So from here, when I start camping on Fernando, when he tries bringing his legs back in place, it's not gonna happen. I can always walk around. How can I increase my connection? This hand can either comes reverse collar tie, shoulder pose like this, or my favorite one, this underhook inside my opponent's armpit and lat muscle. I don't need to pull anything, I just need to post my hand, and I can beat this push action that Fernando can probably use. So when I start camping here, look at how athletic is my posture. When I'm camping against Fernando's hips, when he tries pushing away, he's not gonna go anywhere. I can always walk, keep things very protected here. So right now what I'm gonna do is switch my arm from this inside hook to an elbow pose. So I elevate things, and then I place his elbow on my top hip. I can cross face him, slide my leg around, and then we have a very solid side control again with his near arm isolated, which is the best side control you guys can get. There's no push action, there's no rotation that he can have from there. And once I have his arm isolated like here, so it's gonna be hard for him bringing these and elbows together. I'm probably gonna be on top very safe. So the key element here, as you guys probably noticed, so splitting knees and elbows are the main point when you guys are trying to pin people from top. Either side control, either mount, either half guard. So that is why go north-south is a good idea, because we are only fighting against half of the body. The other half, the legs, they are already away, and it's gonna be pretty easy from that scenario. This angle diagonal to the shoulder, increase your pressure, use the gravity and your body weight to generate a pressure only against the legs. And then no matter how strong your opponent is, how spazzy he is, or how quick he is, nobody is quicker than a person on top operating around the head. So that is why we walk to the head and we increase the power we probably have to fight against the lower body, legs, and then split, find the inside, and then be happy out there. So this is what I normally do when I'm fighting against good people. I know that strategically it can be a shot. I can always go to camp across the hips and try to get the inside right away. But good people, they frame well, they use shields very well, they bring everything together. So when I walk to the shoulders 1, 2, 3 times, they're probably getting tired because they need to be very active, bringing shields and frames back to place, and then recovering the guard. So if I repeat this process 1, 2, 3, 4 times, the bottom guy will definitely get tired, and eventually he's gonna make mistakes, and I will get my chest-to-chest connection. Side control, half guard or mount in an easy way. So can be from north-south, can be from perpendicular side, or can be camping inside the hips. So build pressure and pace over time, being consistent, finding the right spot to use your body weight against your training partner or opponent from bottom. So use gravity, and then you guys can be effective from top.